cloudy and breezy, a high of 52. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. President Biden reveals he's been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang reports.
Biden ended his more than 5 decades in public service in January, leaving office as the oldest president in history after abruptly dropping out of the presidential race last summer. He's mostly stayed out of public view, except for attending Pope Francis's funeral in April, and now pushing back against a slate of new books questioning his mental acuity at the end of his presidency.
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that.
Selena Wang, ABC News, the White House.
We're learning more about the suspect in Saturday's explosion at a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. Emily Valdez from KNX Radio has the story.
Investigators say the bomber was 25-year-old Guy Edward Bartkus of 29 Palms. His motive? He's an antinatalist. It's a belief that children should not be brought into the world because they cannot consent to being born.
The subject had nihilistic ideations, and this was a targeted attack against the IVF facility.
FBI special agent in charge of the LA field office, Akil Davis. Bartkus was the only person killed in the bombing. 4 others were injured, but they have all since been released from the hospital. Emily Valdez for CBS News, Los Angeles.
A large police presence and tactical response near the Miller Valley this evening. Multiple Milwaukee police agencies arrived at a home near 47th and State around 3 p.m. Our news partners at TMJ4 report seeing one person emerge from a residence with their hands up, then get taken into custody. We'll bring you more details as we learn more. A former teacher and school bus driver in Pewaukee faces 4 felonies for sexually assaulting a child. 62-year-old Thomas Felser is accused of grooming a 6-year-old student. Assistant District Attorney Vivian Morris.
The victim later participated in a forensic interview where she disclosed that the defendant repeatedly touched her on the bus. Law enforcement corroborated these sexual assaults by reviewing surveillance video from the bus.
Felser previously worked in the Pewaukee School District for over 3 decades as a teacher. He faces 1 count of repeated sexual assault of a child and 3 counts of sexual misconduct by school staff or volunteer. He's in custody on $350,000 cash bond. The parent company of We Energies wants to take over the nuclear plant site in Kewaunee that closed more than a decade ago. Editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, Timothy Gibbons, tells WTMJ.
They're not looking at reopening that plant. What they would do instead is bring what are known as small modular reactors. They're smaller, obviously, that's part of the name, and they're easier to assemble. That's the modular bit. And they produce less energy than a big nuclear power plant.
If the deal passes the regulatory inspection process, the earliest it would go online would be 2038. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:03.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters for your home or your business. They came out and did the exterior of our house. The team walked around the entire house with me, pointed out a couple spots that I needed some extra work done. I didn't even realize it. The teams at CertaPro, they've got your back. Call and ask about their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. It's CertaPro Painters, the best in the business. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. It's CertaPro Painters. Took care of me, they'll take care of you. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Spring into big savings on all Larson storm doors now at Menards. Larson doors are perfect to enjoy the fresh spring air. Whether you're looking for additional security or a screen door, we have what you need. They come in over 40 styles and 9 colors to choose from. Check out all Larson storm door options in store and find more great deals in our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Don't miss Capri Community's Enjoy Life Active Aging Symposium on Wednesday, June 4th at Elmbrick Church in Brookfield from 8:30 to 3 p.m. This is a free and fun event for older adults 55 plus that celebrates active aging. Featuring speakers like John McGivern and Jennifer Bartolotta, exhibitors, goat yoga, speed friending, raffles, food, music, and much more. Make the day your own. Pre-register at EnjoyLifeSymposium.com. That's EnjoyLifeSymposium.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. After 2 shutout losses to the Twins, the Brewers make a comeback this afternoon in Game 3, winning 5-2. Monday night, they welcome the Baltimore Orioles to American Family Field. Coverage starts at 6:05 here on WTMJ. The Milwaukee Admirals continue their AHL playoff season against Texas. Game 2 of 5 is just now getting underway tonight. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty clear on the roads this evening. No major incidents and no delays. And time for the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 40. Inland could reach lower mid to upper 30s. On Monday, mostly cloudy skies and breezy, a high of 52. Tuesday, rainy and windy, a high of 50. On Wednesday, scattered showers, still breezy, a high of 55. Thursday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 57. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 59. Right now in Madison, it's 63 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 52. In Waukesha, it's 50. And in Milwaukee, it's 47 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Whether they work for the Wisconsin State Fair or a 1099 as a PR consultant, they represent you. And when you have to make public apologies like that, it's not just make the apology and let's move forward, although I do believe that if it's a genuine apology. But before we go to break, my thing is, how did we get here? And then where do we go from here after the apology so that it doesn't happen again?
If you're together, you're just together.
But if you commit a crime, serious, yeah.
But if you commit a crime, right? It has to meet the elements of being a gang. You can't just say it's a group of people, so it's a gang, even though that's how most people think.
Live from the Avenue, here's Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Why are you looking at me, Dr. Ken? You want me to kick it off? Okay, all right. Good evening.
Whenever they say your name first.
That's the qualifier?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with today. Good evening.
Well, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hi. You are listening. Oh, I've got an echo. So see, now you have to talk because I got to fix this echo. We're live.
You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Let me see.
There we go. Good evening.
All right.
Good evening. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're listening to 620 WTMJ, but this is the truth. I shouldn't say but negates what I just said. You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered with yet. However, with Dr. Ken and DT, we are so excited. I am excited, especially because I just celebrated my 49th birthday on Friday, and it's just been a great.
So old.
You know what? Touche, Dr. Ken. Go ahead.
I had to get you.
But are you ready for this? And I'm not kidding when I say this.
What's that?
I had a great, and that's why I love spontaneity, because it just ended up being a great birthday. Not too many years your birthday falls on a Friday. And yes, I just had a wonderful birthday. Friends celebrated with me. Received a number of love on social media. Anywho.
She didn't call me.
Wait a minute. How does that work? How you mean I didn't call you on my birthday?
My birthday's next week. Hey, I'll come hang out with you and your friend. Nope, I didn't get invited.
You would have came to Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I go everywhere else. I go everywhere else. I may as well go to Dallas.
Yeah, we had a great time. Aw, thanks, Evan. Hey, happy birthday. You know I love Evan. See, this is why I don't understand why people focus so much on division.
Right.
This is why I love Evan. Right. Not only did Evan salute me with the happy birthday, he played what we call the black version of happy birthday. Thank you, Evan.
Wow.
As a fellow Caucasian brother, you appreciate culture. I love that about Evan.
Well, I affectionately call Evan my brother from another mother.
Yes. Shout out to our producer, our amazing producer, Evan.
Just like you are my sister from another mister.
No, I'm like your young niece. You like the old uncle that sits on the porch.
Who has a birthday next week? Technically
you do.
This week. So
See, I don't forget. You do. We're May babies. Shout out to all the May babies.
May babies.
Shout out to all the Tauruses, but Dr. Ken's a Gemini.
Yes, I am. And you're a Taurus.
We fight.
We don't fight.
So check this out, Dr. Ken. You'll appreciate this.
We vehemently discuss.
We're like Chuck and Shaq.
Wow.
No, they don't meet each other though.
Yes, they do.
Here's what happened to me literally Saturday morning, the day after my birthday.
Okay.
I'm checking my emails. Let me read the actual email for y'all. Now, Dr. Ken, I know you've been a member of this organization for decades now. But I received
always
at 2:20 p.m.
Always poking.
At 2:22 p.m. yesterday, I received, and this is what the subject line. I'm not kidding y'all. This is what the subject line read: AARP invitation in your name, Denise. Join today. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm 49, not 50.
You just started your 50th year. You just completed your 49th year, and now you just started your 50th year.
No.
That's why your birthday comes after your birth. And then you're 1 year old. You've completed the 1 year. So you've just completed your 49th year. You are now in your 50th year.
No, I'm starting my 49th year, Dr. Ken.
If you just turned 49, you just finished your 49th year. Just like when you're born at 0, when you reach 1, you've completed your first year. You just completed your 49th year. You are in your 50th year. Therefore, you're eligible for
Evan, cut his mic off.
AARP.
Get off the show. I'm not even.
Welcome to the club. Hey,
I am not part of any retired person's club.
Welcome to the club.
Are you for real, though? You got me over here like really sweating bullets.
I mean, think about it. Your first birthday isn't when you're born. Your first birthday is after you.
You mean not when I turn? Oh, okay. Right. That's what you're saying.
So, yeah. You just completed your 49th year. You're in your 50th year.
I'm 49, y'all. Bump what Dr. Ken just said. I'm 49.
Girl, you better claim it because no. Leave them discounts on the table. Forget about all that other stuff and tear up your AARP. You're right.
I'm not ready.
You're right. Ready for what?
But to be 50. I got another year. I'm 49. I don't care what you say.
Are you going to blossom a cauliflower ear and your nose is going to turn into a pear? Or I don't really.
Well, I'll tell you what I won't be doing, and that is applying for AARP membership. Because even if I were 60, even if I were 560 years old, I'm not a retired person, so I'm good. Far from it.
So I do have a question.
Are you a member?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Sure.
So I do have a question for you. Why is it seems that whenever Caitlin Clark does something wrong, they twist it around so that Caitlin Clark looks like she took the upper hand. She automatically becomes the victim. So if you saw this foul, and it was a level 1 flagrant foul that she got called for because Angel Reese got up and got mad, they're now saying that, well, it's terrible and it's Caitlin Clark, went on to win and she's great and she was gracious how she handled it. She was wrong. Why are we making the actor, the person who's wrong, who committed the damage, the victim? Because that's what the media does.
So I'm so glad that you asked that question because we definitely have to talk about this. And to be clear, to add some further context, the WNBA is officially, they've released a statement. They are officially investigating hateful comments, and I got to say it, I got to use the word, Dr. Ken, that were allegedly basically hurled at Angel Reese during the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game that you had mentioned. And that was yesterday, correct? Was that? Yeah, it was today or yesterday, the game?
Yesterday.
So to answer your question, Dr. Ken, this is and never will be about basketball. It is not about basketball. This is about how black women, especially black women, and I know this firsthand because all of these adjectives I'm about to give you describe Angel Reese, describe myself, describe a number of black women that are in highly visible, whether it's pop culture, business, healthcare, law, whatever. You cannot be a bold, confident, unapologetic black woman in this country without being targeted. Because whenever black women, and again, those that show up bold, confident, and unapologetic, whenever we show up in spaces that originally were not built with us in mind.
Yep, very true.
Then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes a problem. Black women continue, Dr. Ken, and to all of our valued listeners, however you may identify from a race, nationality, gender, sports, non-sports, however you identify, I need people to really lean in and understand this. Black women have and will continue to be targeted when they show up in spaces where we were not originally built in the minds of the establishers. And Angel Reese, she's not just showing up, Dr. Ken. See, a lot of black women were conditioned to keep your head down, speak when you're spoken to. The image of black women have been subservient, have been to help. You know, you stay in the background, you do everything I tell you to do, but don't you dare be bold, confident, unapologetic. So you have Angel Reese, who's not just showing up on the court, she's showing out and she's shaking the table. So my question now for you, Dr. Ken, as someone who has a lot of black women in their lives, daughters, wife, me, the list goes on and on.
The 49-year-old or the, okay, all right.
The 49-year-old. So I've got a question for you and all of our valued listeners. How come when we show, when I say we, I mean black women.
Right.
How is it that every time we show passion, enthusiasm, confidence, all of these adjectives I just shared, it's a problem. When we show confidence, it's cocky, it's arrogant. Because these are the things that I've heard about myself.
Okay.
So, you know, here's the thing. We're not now just watching the game. Okay? Black women are not just watching the game. They're not just playing the game. They are now calling the shots. They're calling the plays.
That is correct.
And so this is where I want to talk to you, Dr. Ken, and our listeners on why is this a problem?
855-616-1620, the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. What is it about black women? Because when I think back, I know we got to take a break in about a minute. And so when I think back over my life, which is roughly 10, 15 years more than yours, you know, because I'm senior, you know, I'm great. We're born in that great generation of boomer. There was a time when women were what you said, you know, subservient and quiet and in the background. And then as the need for two-parent households arose and when tax laws changed and nobody told black people, hey, if you do this and do that, you can probably make more money in your household. So black people thought they had to work. So you have two-parent households and it's great and you got kids, but now both parents work and they're struggling under this. And women come into their own, they step up. They lead pretty much at every level of government and every level of organization that you can possibly think of in America. And then they kind of just disappeared. Probably in the maybe early 2000s, it seems like there was this void of nothingness. And then 9/11 hits, George Floyd hits, and then there's this spark that black women finally stepped up. Well, not finally stepped up, but stepped up again and said, you know, what was it he said on the movie Network? I'm mad as hell and I'm not taking it anymore. And then they started to step up and say, hey, this is what we want. This is what we need. We can do the job. And they do it. But now they can't fight black women because if I fight black women, that means I got to fight white women too. Because black women and white women are doing the same thing. They're winning. They're running organizations. They're starting companies. They're in tech. They're in sports. They're in football. They're in So it's like, if we attack one, we got to attack. I know what I'll do. I'll attack not their character, but their behavior. And now you became an angry black woman. So now you have this dichotomy where if I speak up or act like one of the boys, I end up being Carly Fiorina and get booted out of my job because you ain't one of us. You can't roll in the limo with us. You can't come smoke a cigar with us. You can't do none of that. But she did it. But then if you speak up and say, look, I'm not putting up with this. This is, she's being emotional again. She's angry. She's an angry black woman. And that
because
was
you're supposed to sit down
and be quiet. And so that separated black women from white women. So then white women went up, black women got pushed to the side. And that's where we are today.
I know we got to take a break. So when we come back for break, I have another perspective because I know some of our listeners are saying, but man, those black women, they're so loud. So when we come back, I'm going to address that elephant in the room because I know some of y'all, I get it. You don't want to call in, although we welcome all thoughts. Because I really want to understand, why is it that Angel Reese has been so demonized?
Right.
What has she done that is, seriously, like, think about it. What has she done that's so evil?
I got your answer.
Okay. I mean, I know the answer, but I'm just trying to hear from listeners, like, seriously, think about it. What has she done? Because then that's where the unconscious bias comes in. Because if you're thinking, well, she sold this and she sold that. What does that mean?
I got a different
answer. She sold
answer.
this. She sold that.
I hope we have two different answers.
It's going to get hot in here. It's getting good.
Starting Unlimited, WTMJ talking text line is 855-616-1620. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. I was about to say Dr. Denise Thomas. I think that's in your future.
Ooh, I love that. I received that.
Dr. Denise Thomas and Dr. Kim.
Honorary doctorate.
You got to get the real one or it ain't going to count.
We'll be back.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi with a special announcement. My dream of visiting my 50th state, Hawaii, is going to come true in November of 2026. And I'm inviting all you WTMJ fans to join me. Fox World Travel has created an incredible 3-island itinerary, which includes Oahu, the big islands of Hawaii and Maui. We'll visit Pearl Harbor, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, and a Kona coffee plantation. And you know how much I love coffee. We'll enjoy a luau on the big island, visit the Maui Aquatic Center. It's an active itinerary, but includes plenty of free time, too. My wife, Kathy, and I would love to have you join us on this WTMJ listener trip. By the way, P.S., I'm planning a unique way to commemorate this accomplishment. More details on that soon. To get more information or make a reservation, join me and my wife, Kathy. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't miss out on the early booking discount. Best of Hawaii. Join us with Steve Scavidi, Kathy Scavidi, Rose Gray. Call today.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We are back. You're listening to exactly what the announcer said. Truth Unfiltered, Dr. Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris. You get that?
Yes.
You like that?
I received that.
You like that?
As long as it's all right. I have my ADHD kicks in. I can't study and do all that research now. It's, let me not say I can't. That's a bad word. We don't curse on this show, so I can't say I can't. It's a curse word.
So I got a question. Can I give you some direction on the air? Is that permissible?
You want me to move a little bit more?
No.
Me and Evan. Okay.
Is your computer like able to just be swiveled?
Yes. I'm swiveling it now.
Swivel it to this side. To your left.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Hold on. Now I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, listeners. I'm getting it together now. Almost there.
And so here's something that some of you all don't know. So what we do is we broadcast live on YouTube and on 101 on 620 WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth tomorrow night from 6 to 8. And you can see us, and we have to make sure we're, lined up. But it takes either where you're sitting or where the computer is. And so sometimes it works. Like in here, sometimes I go, oh my gosh, I look so huge. And then other times it's like I did it one time remote, and they had my face up it was terrible. My head looked like the Rock of Gibraltar. No comments. See.
I didn't say anything. Well, if you're just tuning in, we were talking about the most recent WNBA game, which is always a blowout between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever, because of course Caitlin Clark is there. We can say that now. She's a franchise player for Indiana Fever, and Angel Reese, who's also a franchise player for the Chicago Sky. And this last game, allegedly, which is another thing I want to talk about, there were some hateful comments allegedly directed towards Angel Reese during the Sky Fever game. It's unclear when the incident took place. However, as part of this being the Truth Unfiltered, Dr. Ken, you asked a great provocative question, and I answered with another question. Because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with basketball. This is all about black women that are bold, unapologetic, confident, and quite frankly, successful. And that's when it becomes a problem. Now, I can say this because I was born and raised in Indiana. Let me be clear. I'm a Midwestern. I've lived in Chicago,
the basketball mecca of the Midwest.
The basketball mecca of, I would say, the country, because there's no options in Indiana.
Yeah, I would put probably Michigan as number 2. Yep.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. I mean, come on now. All I gotta do is say two words.
Yeah.
Bobby Knight.
And Fab Five. And after that,
coming in at number 2. Yeah.
America. Yep.
Say less, right?
It's like what we're talking about. But Indiana has, growing up in Indiana, I remember my father, because this is so coincidental. Because we used to go, that's all you did in Indiana. From a socialization standpoint, you go to high school, get basketball games. That was what you did on Friday night. Texas, Friday nights football. Indiana, you better believe it's tip-off, not kickoff. And so I remember my father used to always say to me, now where's the game? Where y'all going? Dr. Ken, I promise you, because there was no technology where you could, so he would literally take out an atlas and say, these are the areas of Indiana you do not need to be going.
Yeah.
And a lot of the states, a lot of the areas within the state, it was a lot. I'm like, man, where can I go? Like where Larry Bird is from, French Lick, Indiana? I can't go there. You can't go there, Dr. Ken. You can go to the casino, but as far as like back when I was growing up, no, you can't go to French Lick.
Wow. Interesting.
So I say all this because the question that you were talking about, and I appreciate that. I also want to talk about why do black women continuously have to shrink
have to dim our lights to make others comfortable, because a lot of times people will say black women are so loud. You were bringing up, white women are protected. Have been, always will be. If I were protected, why would I need to be loud? So the loudness, I'm doing the air quotes, the loudness is more so about, hello, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see me? Can I get credit? Can I get recognition?
And so one of the things we talked about before the break is, why is Angel Reese so unliked? And I think this is, and you were going to give a rendition of an answer of why you think all this backlash is on Angel Reese. But for me, I believe she beat Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark that year, in her junior year, lost the national championship to LSU and Angel Reese. And she's never been able to live that down. People will never forgive her for not letting Caitlin Clark win. Well, not letting, but not allowing Caitlin Clark to win 2 national.
No, you said it right.
And so since then, her name has been mud. Oh, look at all the things she's doing when she's waving her hand in her face. And then Caitlin Clark goes out and says, well, I did it first. She was just reciprocating. That's what we do.
And no one said anything. Right. You see what I'm saying? No one.
Right.
See, when black women show emotion, and let's just stay on the subject. We'll focus on Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Angel Reese shows any type of emotion on the court, she's labeled classless, tacky.
Yep.
Sore loser.
Yep.
But if the same energy came from Caitlin Clark,
oh, she's doing it because there's a problem.
Passion.
She's
yeah. And so that's a double standard that I personally, as a black woman, have had to navigate. And it's so exhausting.
But we've always lived under a double standard. We've always had to do double duty, 2 cultures, 2 everything. So
yeah, because like I told you, it's not about we can. This is not even about basketball. Look at Serena Williams,
yep.
tennis athlete, the greatest tennis athlete of all time. Even John McEnroe had to bow down.
Yep.
But in the end, every time it's criticized. Sha'Carri Richardson, the track athlete.
Right.
Same. It's like,
why she dressed like that? Why she gotta have a half thing on and a hat? How come she ain't dressed like everybody else? Yep.
I'm glad though, Dr. Ken. I applaud the WNBA for making a statement and facilitating a formal investigation. However, and I hope we can talk about this too, Dr. Ken. These fans.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these fans, and I'm gonna say this, Dr. Ken. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. That's what I do. Don't let this new administration get you in trouble. Don't get it twisted. Because you're getting a little comfortable. You're getting a little too comfortable. And if you pay for a ticket, that does not entitle you to demonstrate hate towards a professional. She's at work. Nobody comes to your job. Nobody comes to your job, fans, and is able to call you all kind of names. So why are you coming to Angel Reese's place of employment?
So very true. When we come back, we're going to hit the talk and text line, and also we're going to dive into this investigation on some comments that were made to Angel Reese during the allegedly made towards Angel Reese. You're listening to Truth Unfiltered. You can check us out every Monday night from 6 to 8 on 101.7 The Truth and 620 WTMJ. 855-616-1620, the Citing Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. When we come back, what were some of the comments you think against
I can only
guess.
Affordable glass and mirror home decor ideas will go as far as your style and imagination will take them. But not everyone has the time to think up new ways to make our products work for their home. So here are some ideas that could really take your home style to the next level. A great way to visually enlarge a small space is to add mirrors. We're seeing mirrored closet doors come back in style. but now they call them reflective storage units. And if they're done right, they can be quite appealing. Make your minimal bedroom more expansive looking with a wall of mirrors. Or how about a mirrored backsplash in your kitchen? Mirror front kitchen cabinets look really sleek. If you bring us the milled out cabinet doors, we'll install mirrors and your kitchen gets an instant style upgrade. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "no appraisal required." That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We are back. You are listening to The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris here at 620 WTMJ. We want to hear from you. How are you feeling about this conversation? Again, I know a lot of folks, it's like, oh, here we go again.
This is The Truth Unfiltered.
So, Talking Text Line says,
Yeah, what we got?
414-524 said, can you recall which player in WNBA said all black women are welcome? If you white, you better be a lesbian. I don't.
Well, let me just say this. I don't know what your intentions are by asking that question. But this is what amazes me whenever people are having a conversation about racism. You automatically go to, well, what about this?
Yep.
I'm going to respectfully say this to whoever sent that text message. This is not tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? Like the question was, why are black women targeted as aggressive? I mean, basically demonized for doing the same thing that their white female counterparts do. That's the question. And so saying, well, what about the time? Because I can easily do that with you. And see, that's why it's challenging to have healthy dialogue, because what you are doing, dear brother or sister, whoever sent that comment, you are digressing from the subject at hand out of fear.
Well, Mark says that it's the same as in men's sports, talking trash. And I think that's it. I think that when the public misreads it as something that it's not, it's just talking trash. You get knocked down, you get up, you're mad, you're hot. I've seen Caitlin Clark do it. Get up hot, mad. Okay, that's the heat of the game. That's what
you know what, Dr. Ken, let me Please let me do this. Okay? Because this is not what we're talking about. And every time we talk about okay. Let me read the headline for our listeners one more again, as we say in the South. The WNBA. Okay, stay with me, please, these two gentlemen. The WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, is investigating hateful comments directed towards Angel Reese during the Sky Fever game. This has nothing to do with trash talking. This has nothing. I'm talking about hateful comments directed to a black woman who does the same thing, to your point, trash talks just like her white counterparts, but yet she's always the one. So let's stay focused, because we're not going to do that. But what about, that's not what we're talking about.
And if you knock me down and foul me and it's flagrant, I'm going to be mad. But this says, now watch this, the comments were reportedly directed at Angel Reese by fans, not a fan, not overheard a person say. fans. That means multiple people felt like they had the right, which they do, but they also got to take the consequences that come with it too. I hope you're a season ticket holder, because you kind of got to be a season ticket holder to be close enough to players for them to hear what you're saying. I hope they take
another question.
I hope they take
that I want to ask these listeners that just made those comments. I don't know if you have a daughter,
a niece,
a sister. Oh yeah, we going there, Dr. Ken. But if your daughter's sister, niece came home and said, "Dad or uncle or brother, I just got off the court playing a very critical game, and all of these fans, like a number of these fans, were saying such mean and hateful things to me." You're telling me you're going to say, well, that's just not, well, hey, accept it because that just no. And again, it's okay when it's us, but when it's somebody else, then it's a problem. That's the point here. So it can't be trash talking. That's what we're talking about. The headline didn't say, and let me read this again, Dr. Ken. The headline didn't say the WNBA is investigating trash talking comments.
Right. It did.
Stop me when I'm lying.
It did not say that.
And just for the people that, by the way, this came from Fox News. Right. The story is from, okay, let me preface that. The WNBA investigates hateful. See, that's what racism is. It's hatred. And until you've experienced every day. See, imagine having to live in a world where you are filled with rage because you are constantly judged, criticized, discriminated against, and you still have to make the oppressor. You have to make the oppressor feel comfortable day after day after day after day. And for me, we're going on, according to Dr. Ken, 50 years. And so when you say things like, well, why are they so loud? Why are they so angry? Please, just walk in my shoes for a week.
Don't most, and I'm totally poking whoever's making these comments. Don't they make movies with all these white folks who, and yes, I'm purposefully racializing it, that are like, retribution, and I'm the big bad sheriff is bad, so the guy takes retribution and goes out. Like, isn't that the culture? So why wouldn't you expect it from us? If the culture in these movies of the 70s and 80s is all these bad people did things wrong and this vigilante is going to step up and make things right, and you clap. Well, that's all we're doing. We're being vigilantes regarding race, and we're going to step up and say no more.
I triple. No, I can't. Okay, let me say it this way.
Was you about to say triple dog?
Yeah. But that's a serious dare. If you say triple dog dare, it's like, that's serious.
Yes, Lord.
I will give you every dollar in my bank account right now.
That's the one you just closed.
I'll give you all my money, all my assets, everything. If you can honestly tell me that if the headline read, the WNBA investigates hateful comments reportedly directed towards Caitlin Clark by Angel Reese during the Sky Fever game, you would not have made that same statement. I'll give you all the money in my bank account.
That story would be all over the news, all over talk radio, all over sports.
See what happens?
Oh, my God. They're going to. Yeah. We went to Chicago and those people talked about. Yeah, we would.
So before you what was the text again, Dr. Ken? About what was it? The tip or tack remark?
It's the same in the men's sports trash talk.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And for those that don't know me, and Dr. Ken will. Anybody, let me say it differently. Anybody who knows me, I know sports very well, especially football, very, very well. And so. I am utmost confident saying this with all the conviction that if the headline read, WNBA investigates hateful comments reportedly directed towards Caitlin Clark by Angel Reese during the Sky Fever game, or directed by Angel Reese towards fans.
Yep.
All the comments y'all just
she's guilty. So suspend her for 2 weeks.
Just be honest.
We don't even know
Just
if
say
it's true
that.
yet. Yep. Yeah. That's true.
And here's the crazy part. You're playing the victim when you create the problem.
Yep.
And I run away from people who create problems and play the victim.
Yeah. You hit the damage and now you're the victim. How's that again? I don't know. I've never
understand why they're so angry. I don't understand why black women are so angry and so mad.
And
stuff
the
like
part
that.
about it is when it's not race and you get beat, it's almost even sweeter. Because you thought I was going to make it race when, in fact, I just found out that you're just technically wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it. But then I'm accused. Well, he said, that, it was, he said I did it because he was black. I was like, no, I didn't. I never, there are instances where you need to bring it up because it actually happens. And then there's some instances where I think that's what it is, but I got you on a technicality that you cannot get out of. That's when I'm going to get you. But then my hammer's going to be pretty hard. And I know we got to go to break because
I know Evan. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to wrap this up. But we're also going to get into the most recent update regarding former President Biden. There was a big announcement that came out about that. But yeah, just next time when black women are talking about black women being targeted and hated on, don't come back with that wool bit. And please stop. That's unconscious bias. You're welcome for the free lesson. We'll be back.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
State of emergency in Mayville, Dodge County, the morning after. Severe weather, including at least one tornado ripped through there.
Eric Billstad.
Mistaken gunshots prompt a heavy police response and frustration in downtown Milwaukee.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
We have an accident now, 43 northbound the Rock Freeway.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ. Create the yard of your dreams with help from Menards. Give your lawn a professional grade look with Pennington Contractors Mix. It contains a mix of grass seed that covers up to 8,000 square feet, providing your lawn with quick, lush, professional grade results. Save big money on Pennington Contractors Mixes now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
How appropriate.
You are listening. Right? You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered on 620 WTMJ. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to give a special shout out on our. I always want to say Truth Talking text line.
833-212-1017 tomorrow night, 6 to 8 on 1017 The Truth. We're here now on 620 WTMJ, citing unlimited. WTMJ text line is 855-616-1020.
Co-host. Dr. Ken and Dr. Denise.
Who said
they put the I am. And they put in front of the I love it. Great job as always. Happy birthday to you both. Thank you so much. It's the same in the men's sports talking trash. Mark, I love you, but no, it's not, Mark. I love you, Mark. I need you to understand. I love you because as a woman of faith, I love all my brothers and sisters, but it's not, Mark. It's not. It's not the same. Because if that were the case, come on, Mark.
You should say how you
like I said. I appreciate the birthday love and thank you for the kind words. I gotta push back. We can definitely have dialogue about this. As Dr. Ken said, 855-616-1620 if you want to call in. But it's not the same, Mark. For so many obvious reasons.
But I think what happens is people are fearful to have conversations because they think they're going to be wrong. And it's not that they're wrong, they're different. We just want you to acknowledge the differences.
Yes.
That's all it really is. Acknowledge the differences. We cannot make America and take American culture and dismiss all of the ethnicity. It's easy if you're white to live within your Italian ethnicity because nobody's going to know you're Italian before they know you're white.
Let me ask you a question.
I don't have that luxury. Go ahead.
This is for you and Mark.
Okay.
Speaking of Indiana. What's the brother's name? The dad that walked on the court and was antagonizing Giannis with the T-shirt after they won.
I forget his Bucks. Evan, you remember his name?
I think it's John Halliburton.
Yes, Halliburton. Yes, Halliburton. Yes.
Was that talking trash?
John.
Yeah.
Was that talking trash? Is this now the norm?
That's what I'm saying. Like.
Yeah.
But Milwaukee Bucks fans do not play when it comes to Giannis. I've been to several Bucks games where like Giannis might get fouled, and I mean he's like one of the most strongest athletes, incredible athletes. And Milwaukee Bucks fans acting like they about to jump in too. I said it to say this. I love it though.
Yeah.
It is a double standard.
Sure.
Mark and other listeners. It is. And in addition to, because trash talking is different from hateful comments.
Right.
And we have seen, Dr. Ken, over the past, I would say, recent seasons where fans are starting to get really comfortable with thinking that they can say anything to players.
I paid for this seat so I can say what I want to say.
And see, if you paid for the ticket, that does not, you talk about fan entitlement, that does not give you a pass to throw hate at a player, pun intended. And what we're doing now is we're normalizing what is harassment and verbal assault, i.e. hateful comments, because the WNBA, let me tell you this right now, they got a lot of stuff they're going through right now. Do you think they want to have an official investigation?
Right.
Man, can you imagine? They were like, oh, here we go.
You remember?
So it had to be a big deal.
You remember what's his name? Scotty Scheffler, who just won the PGA today. Remember when he was trying to get into the golf place and the cop stopped him, and the cop was on foot and the guy hit him. You know, Scotty hit him and he got arrested. Knocked the cops down.
The same day.
Ambulance, and they didn't charge him. I was talking to a guy today before I came here, watching Scotty, whatever his name is, Scheffler, whatever, win the PGA. I think it was the PGA Championship. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not a golfer. No, he didn't. He should not have been in jail. That cop jumped on the hood of the car. I said, excuse me, what? Yeah, that cop jumped on the hood of the car. I said, what police officer do you know, unless they have mental health issues, would not only jump in front of a car, but jump on the hood of a car? Like, does that even make any sense to you? So it's okay that if a person is on top of your car to literally drive away. Like, that's kind of still wrong too. They released him. There was no reason. He should have at least gotten a ticket. But that's what happens. You get away with it and then the first thing that he brought up, it was like you said before. First thing he brought up was not, yeah, you're right. He brought up, well, basketball players get away with it too.
Never fails.
We're not talking about basketball
players.
We're
not exactly.
One person here.
There is a significantly deep, and I mean deep, Dr. Ken, deep discomfort
with powerful black people in this country.
Yeah.
Especially those that are women and that are taking up space, if you know what I'm saying. And so what I would really appreciate is if people would stop pretending that, this is trash talking, because it's not. And it's not even just about basketball. This is cultural. This is historical. And it's still happening. And until we start having truthful, like unfiltering the truth, pun intended again, honest, truthful conversations, it will continue. Because again, the unconscious bias, it's called unconscious for a reason.
And everybody,
and if you have and everybody has it. There's so many different types of unconscious bias, but right now we're talking about the racial unconscious bias and even gender. But from a race standpoint, if you get uncomfortable every time you see Angel Reese, look at her. That's unconscious bias. Because what was what's her name? Lisa, very popular WNBA player, retired. Lisa Leslie. Yep. See, Lisa Leslie didn't make people feel uncomfortable. Because all she did was what? Play the game. Yep. They didn't have NIL. They didn't have. So she played the game. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Let's stop pretending. The reality is that when. Okay, and we probably got to go break. I'll give you a personal example.
We got about a minute.
Dr. Kim, when I first started doing public speaking engagements, when I first started, I was doing pro bono or heavily discounted rates. Gosh, she's wonderful. She's amazing. And word of mouth started, which helped elevate my brand. Right. And I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm 8 years in. And I've never had anyone say she was terrible, she was horrible. But man, have I heard, and people don't even know sometimes, be careful what you say, because people come back and tell DT stuff. She charges way too much. Do you go to a Mercedes dealership and say, man, these prices are too high? You know the worth of the car. I know my worth, but because it's me.
Yep.
How dare you? The audacity to think I'm going to pay you. And so, yeah. It's beyond basketball, but it's a deeper discomfort with powerful black people in this country. And as more and more black millionaires and billionaires are creating themselves, that's why that's why Diddy's in jail. That's why Michael Jackson was persecuted. That's why. And you can say all day, well, no. I'm not saying they didn't commit crimes, but Diddy is not on trial for sexual harassment. Diddy is on trial because he sued an alcohol company for racial discrimination, and they kept that video in their back pocket. That's the reality. Bill Cosby, a lot of folks knew about Bill Cosby's alleged drugging. Well, I can't say alleged because he was found guilty. But as soon as Bill Cosby started talking about buying NBC, then here all of a sudden, here comes all the... We can go on and on, Dr. Kim. But the reality is that this country still has problems with powerful black people.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. Dr. Ken Harris, the future Dr. Denise Thomas. We gonna speak that into existence. 855-616-1620 is the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ Talking Text line. Hit us back. When we come back, shocking news regarding former President Joe Biden.
So it's about time you spruced up your home. Nothing major. You're not looking to spend a ton, but you are looking for something that'll give your quarters a little upgrade. You know, there are a lot of things you can do with glass. Simply beveling your mirrors can do wonders. You can mill out your wood cabinet doors and replace the center with attractive glass inserts, or customize them with unique handcrafted artistry, or maybe a theme. You could even install a new glass shower door and add some real appeal to your bathroom. They're all pretty affordable home improvements. And Les's Glass Service has been helping homeowners like you for just about longer than anyone in town. You probably don't realize how affordably we can help you reach your home's full potential. But we do, and we can show you countless options. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Less is Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 8 o'clock, it's 46 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 40. Monday, mostly cloudy and breezy, a high of 52. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Gatso. Investigators in New Orleans are facing mounting pressure to capture the 7 remaining fugitives who escaped from a jail about 2 miles from the French Quarter, a major tourism hub. ABC's Faith Abebi.
Officials doing their best to reassure the public that they're doing everything they can, throwing all resources at the search, including facial recognition cameras. The company that is behind that technology telling us their cameras did help recapture one of the fugitives, but another one did get away during the hours-long delay in alerting the public.
The escapees had a more than 7-hour head start before their disappearance was noticed at a morning roll call. The reward money for the capture of each inmate is now $20,000. A tentative agreement has been reached to end the New Jersey transit strike of train engineers and operators. NG Transit CEO Chris Collery speaking at a news conference this afternoon.
I think we are particularly gratified that we were able to find a solution that meets the needs of the customers and our employees, and more importantly than all of it, the taxpayers of New Jersey.
New Jersey Rail Service will return on Tuesday. A 28-year-old man was shot and killed on Milwaukee's northwest side Friday night. It happened around 10:30 p.m. near 62nd and Lisbon. Police say the victim died at the scene. A suspect is in custody. A school bus driver in Pewaukee is charged with sexual misconduct. 62-year-old Thomas Felser faces 1 count of repeated sexual assault of a child and 3 counts of sexual misconduct by school staff or volunteer. He's accused of grooming a 6-year-old student by giving her candy and touching her inappropriately. Assistant District Attorney Vivian Morris says the child's mother found Felser alone with her daughter.
The mother had become concerned when she checked a GPS app and saw that the school bus had not moved for about 10 minutes.
Surveillance footage shows Felser repeatedly sitting with the girl over 8 months. He previously worked in the Pewaukee School District for over 3 decades as a teacher. He's in custody on $350,000 cash bond. A group of teenagers are recovering from injuries after a high-speed chase in Wauwatosa.
6 teens are in custody after a Wauwatosa police chase ended in a car crash early Sunday morning on Milwaukee's west side. Officers first spotted a speeding car with no headlights near 62nd and State. When they tried to pull the car over, the driver took off, leading police through Milwaukee before crashing into another vehicle at 35th and Villette. The teens, ages 16 to 18, were arrested and treated for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the car was stolen and charges are pending. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
May is National Stroke Awareness Month. Nearly 800,000 people suffer a stroke every year.
I had always thought that strokes were only something that happened to older individuals.
At the age of 23, Wauwatosa's Emma Rand learned that's not the case. Rand suffered a stroke while participating in a routine spin class.
Completely shocked.
After 2 years of therapy, Rand is back to normal and living on her own.
I had to work on teaching my brain and hand how to work and how to function and how to put gloves back on. I lost the feeling of hot and cold and couldn't tell you if I was holding a hot object or a cold object.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Strokes are the 5th leading cause of death in the United States. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:03.
EasyCater is an online platform for ordering and managing food for the workplace. It streamlines your business deliverables, like paninis and power bowls for the client meeting. It's a tool that helps deliver ROI. That's raisin oatmeal integration at the company breakfast. EasyCater is a powerful project management solution, too. If the project is your monthly lunch and learn and the solution is, that is some tasty falafel. EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life.
Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. We install anything decks and more. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. After 2 shutout losses to the Twins, the Brewers make a comeback this afternoon in Game 3, winning 5-2. Monday night, they welcome the Baltimore Orioles to American Family Field, coverage starting at 6:05. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A couple of incidents to look out for. Looks like we have an incident on the ramp from 94 South to Highway 119 East. Expect lane closures there. And another incident on Highway 145 North at Bradley and Leon Road. The right lane there is blocked due to a crash. And a look at the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 40 degrees. Inland, mid to upper 30s. On Monday, mostly cloudy and breezy, a high of 52. Tuesday, rainy and windy, a high of 50. Wednesday, scattered showers, still breezy, a high of 55. Thursday, partly cloudy, a high of 57. And Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 59. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 46 degrees. I'm Jessica Gatso, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 8:06.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Whether they work for the Wisconsin State Fair or a 1099 as a PR consultant, they represent you. And when you have to make public apologies like that, it's not just make the apology and let's move forward, although I do believe that if it's a genuine apology. But before we go to break, my thing is, how did we get here? And then where do we go from here after the apology so that it doesn't happen again?
If you're together, you're just together.
But if you commit a crime, serious, yeah.
But if you commit a crime, right? That's it has to meet the elements of being a gang. You can't just say it's a group of people, so it's a gang, even though that's how most people think.
Live from the Avenue, here's Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We are back, hour 2. 855-616-1620, the Siding Unlimited Talk and Text line. I am your host, Dr. Ken Harris, along with the always effervescent Denise Thomas. How are you?
Oh, thank you.
You good? We back?
I'm just trying to understand whether it was Franklin D. Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, even Reagan.
All these presidents that had significant health issues always are kept quiet.
Yep.
Until after the fact.
So, I was thinking about this, and I had the thought, and it dawned on me. Nobody said it, and then I was, doing my BBC, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN this morning, doing the round robin. And I forget her first name. Molly Hemingway on Fox News said, why didn't the media tell us he had this? I mean, you can have prostate cancer for a long time. And let me be honest, most men, when they die in their 80s, 90s, die with some level of prostate cancer. It's just one of those natural things that occurs in your body, and there's nothing you can really do. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't kill you. You die from old age. But that being said, it metastasized to your bones. In my understanding, and somebody help me, correct me if I'm wrong, 855-616-1620, Citing Unlimited, WTMJ Talking Text Line, how long would you have to have had it for you to not show symptoms of needing treatment? Like, did y'all not check the president? Like, did y'all not go, excuse me, Mr. President, yeah, you need a check this month? I know y'all just don't do one annual check every year and call it a day. Y'all got to check him every month. And at his age, every day. And it's metastasized to his bones, and you never brought it up? There is absolutely no way he should have run for president. Absolutely no reason he should have run for president with that. And I think that might be what the linchpin was.
Oh, absolutely.
That might be the turn, and Kamala stepped in because they found out he had prostate cancer.
And here's the reality too. Whether the Biden administration at the time were willing to release that diagnosis, he was visibly.
Yep.
It was just I still cringe every time I think about the debate, the presidential debate between President Biden and President Trump before Kamala Harris stepped in to be the Democratic candidate. So if you haven't heard, former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form, and I'm doing the air quotes, an aggressive form of prostate cancer, according to a statement from his personal office as of today, that has, in terms of the aggression, it has spread to his bones. And the statement, and I quote, "Last week, President Joe Biden was seen for a new finding of a prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, characterized by a Gleason score of 9, which is grade group 5. And Dr. Ken, metastasis? Metastasis to the bone." And this was a statement, again, that was released from his personal office. And Biden is currently 82. And his family is, according to this report on CNN, reviewing treatment options with his physicians. Now, you ready to meet Unfiltered the Truth? Now that I've been all professional and formal?
Yes.
What message does this send to the American people? Because again, this is not the first time. This goes all the way back to like Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin D. Roosevelt was, if I'm not mistaken, he had polio?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. So it resulted in he was paralyzed from the waist down. Now back then in the 40s, they didn't have all the media and technology, so nobody knew in terms of this, regular American citizens that he was confined to a wheelchair. But he served as governor of New York and then became president of the United States. Now, he ultimately died while he was in office in 1945. But yeah, he was paralyzed from the waist down. JFK. I know JFK had polio. And he also had significant.
I never heard that.
Yeah, he had all kind of health struggles. He had serious back pain, Addison's disease. He had a lot of digestive problems. Remember, he was not the chosen one. Papa Joe Kennedy, initially targeted, I guess his name was it Joe Jr.? Who died in the plane crash when he was serving in the Air Force. And then he was looking at Ted.
Yeah, but Teddy was too
Ted was a little problem. I was going to say Ted was too busy outside. So then Joe Kennedy was like, well, John, you're the one. Because no matter, out of all those children, he was determined, Joe Kennedy, to have one of his sons be the president. That was his ultimate objective.
All right. 855.
But my thing is, why are these medical struggles private? I mean, I understand in terms of why, but don't you think that we as American citizens and voters should know that when our chief executive officer of the country, the commander in chief of armed forces, all military, is diagnosed with a terminal illness. Ronald Reagan had Alzheimer's. I would say, how many times did he win? Was he 8-year president, Dr. Ken?
He won twice.
Two terms?
Yep.
I guarantee you 80% of his 2 terms he had Alzheimer's. Guarantee it. And I'm not even being liberal.
I don't know if I'd go that far. He was pretty sharp. I don't know if I go that far. Now, toward the end, yeah.
Alzheimer's is not I wake up in the morning.
Correct.
And I have
No.
Alzheimer's.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I would say 80%, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
855. I was like, huh? 855.
No, Alzheimer's is not where you wake up.
Right.
I got it.
Yesterday I was fine. Sort of like prostate cancer, right?
80.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. 80%. 80% is two terms.
855-616-1620, the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ Talking Text Line. Al from Sherman Park, you are on the Truth Unfiltered.
Hello, Denise. Hello, Dr. Ken.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. So, I guess the question is here, why don't we have journalists that are vigorously going after stories? Because we had a couple of years of Biden's decline, but it seemed like most of the media was singing from the same hymnal, and I can't believe that there are no journalists that can come up with their own, I guess, investigations, lines of questioning that would have filtered some of this out beforehand. Because I kind of think back when, of course, the media just like Trump, and they were going after his taxes, and they were just rein in. We got to get a hold of his taxes. It's unfair. All the other presidents that exposed their taxes, but are our journalists more propagandists today in terms of who they want to pick as winners and losers, where they don't go after stories in depth and pursue them with a dogged curiosity?
I'd say yes. I'd say that they carry their own personal, political, moral, behavioral things into their stories to where they have no problem, instead of being a journalist where they're unbiased as just report who, what, where, when, why, and how, they report whether or not they even like it or not, which I just don't care. Or they're so one-sided that their stories are not even balanced. I remember a time when I could watch ABC, CBS, or NBC News at 5:30 and could hear the same thing on all three. I couldn't tell you whether or not that news announcer was Republican, Democrat, Independent, straight, gay, left, right. I can only tell if they were black guy or white guy. That was it. Now, we want you to know everything about us, so when we tell you something, you'll believe us. Well, I want to know the truth. And that's why we have a show like this, Truth Unfiltered, because we want to hear what you have to say. I am very reluctant unless they prove to me that they've gone to a good journalism school and that they have mitigated their biases and understand their internal issues that they have and are able to give me the news in an unbiased way. Otherwise, I don't think there's much of a future in journalism in America.
Journalism used to be about information. Now it's about influence.
Yep.
It used to be about taking the time to put together, to Dr. Ken's point, facts.
Yep.
Information. Now it's who's going to break the story first.
Yep. Well, it's always been who's going to break the story first, but who's going to break the story with the most information and get it right. They don't even care if they get it right.
Yeah, because no one holds them.
Go on, say the A word. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. No one is holding. And that's a whole other like show.
That's another 2-hour show.
Man.
Holding the media accountable.
And just like, who's holding fans accountable for feeling that, I paid for a ticket, so I'm entitled to yell hateful comments. Like, there's so many levels
of failure that is directly is based on the lack of accountability. So Al from Sherman Park, great question. I completely feel you on the question. But we have now become a society where there's lack of accountability and mediocrity is being normalized. It's being accepted. Because to Dr. Kent's point, these self-proclaimed journalists never have went to any type of journalism school. She probably hadn't even been a member of Toastmasters. Let's just start there in terms of just being comfortable with articulating,
Rotary,
a message. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
Because again, folks like Dr. Ken who have a trajectory of formal coaching and training, such as myself, I don't have a degree in journalism, but I have a lot of credentials in terms of I used one of the top journalism schools in the country. I've been to speech and debate. I mean, it's not about. I'll just put you like this, Dr. Ken and Sherman, Al from Sherman Park.
Mm-hmm.
It is up to us, number one, to make sure that you are listening to someone that has a trajectory like Walter Cronkite, Carol Simpson, Diane Sawyer.
Ooh, forgot about Carol. Wow.
That's my idol.
Yeah.
If you don't know Carol Simpson, please Google her. And she's still alive and well today, and I'm trying to meet her in person. Anyway, it is up to us, Al, to write, call, tweet, X, Instagram, whatever communication mechanism to stations like Good Karma and and media outlets and say, hey, like this person, Dr. Ken, y'all probably never heard Dr. Ken crack up. I made Dr. Ken crack up last Sunday before the show.
Anytime to go to break. Anytime to go to break.
No, I showed Dr. Ken a video clip. Maybe we can get Evan to pull it up. Where Senator, oh man, her name just slipped my mind. U.S. Senator. I know, the brain fog is kicking in. She was being interviewed on, I believe it was MSNBC or CNBC, by who appeared to be a younger lady.
Right.
This person didn't even know the basic concept of the U.S. Constitution.
Yep. Okay, stop.
What is the senator's name? We got to get the soundbite.
Almost made me laugh again.
But Dr. Ken, because I tell Dr. Ken all the time, see, your IQ is like 1,025. So you got to understand, all your listeners like me, we public schools, you got to have to dummy it down. He cracked up so hard. And I was like, this is somebody who literally has a show on MSNBC interviewing a United States senator and did not understand the basic concepts, fundamental components, meanings of the U.S. Constitution.
To the point, and I remember because, what's her name? White female, wears the glasses, had the whole issue with being Native American, but she wasn't.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Her name, I can't remember either.
Elizabeth Warren.
Thank you, Elizabeth Warren. U.S. Senator Elizabeth
I know
Warren.
we way past break, but I got to really quickly say, when you are a strictly liberal, left side of the porch station like MSNBC, and a woman who lives over there with you and supports everything you say about them has to correct you on the Constitution live, like something wrong with you. Like
we're gonna get the soundbite when we come back. Evan, I'm sending it to you now. We're gonna play. Y'all stay locked in because when you hear this, you're gonna be like, "Are you serious?" But Al from Sherman Park brings up a great point. When we come back from break, we're going to play the soundbite where you're going to hear United States Senator Elizabeth Warren being interviewed by a journalist challenging a United States senator.
You got that in quotes by just like the hateful comment, right? Okay.
Right. Challenging a United States senator about what basically the president of the United States can and cannot do when it comes to our federal. I can't even get it out, y'all. We just stay locked in, because if you haven't had a good laugh today, this is not a comedy show, but we're about to give you comedy live. Stay locked in. You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered. We want to hear from you as well. 855-616-1620 is our what line, Dr. Ken?
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text Line.
All right, we'll be back, y'all. Stay locked in.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
The Zeidler building was put on lockdown. City Hall was put on lockdown, both of those in downtown Milwaukee.
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
For people at home, it was certainly scary seeing hundreds of people being evacuated. More than 1,000 people in the Zeidler building alone can work there.
Tune in to Wisconsin's afternoon news, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ.
Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Yeah, when you say your Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free, you don't really mean it, right?
Of course we mean it. No employees. Give the mattresses a try with no pushy sales guy.
Why no employees?
To save you money.
How much money?
Well, others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove B Queen for $16.59, but the everyday Hasselus price is just $8.42.
Whoa, Nelly.
We also have way low pricing on our selection of Sealy Posturepedic and more.
Well, that's pretty good.
And through Monday, purchase a select Beauty Rest or Sealy Posturepedic mattress in any size and receive a free adjustable base.
That's exceptionally good.
Plus, free next day delivery, removal and setup of your new mattress, and free financing is available too.
All because your showrooms are employee-free?
Yes, sir.
I like the way you do business.
Get a free adjustable base now through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Get all the details and find the self-service employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Welcome back to The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You are listening to The Truth Unfiltered live, as you heard. If you're just tuning in, number one, thank you. Hope you had a great weekend getting ready for a new great week. We were talking about the recent headline from President Joe Biden's personal office, giving the update that he has been diagnosed with an accelerated form of prostate cancer. And one of our first reactions was, this is not the first time where we've heard as American citizens, or even the world, heard after the fact. Franklin D. Roosevelt was paralyzed waist down and actually died in office in 1945. So he had a significant number of health issues that the majority of people did not know about. John Kennedy Jr., John F. K., JFK, number of health issues, digestive problems, back pains. Nobody knew about it. Ronald Reagan, and as I had mentioned to Dr. Ken, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty confident that he probably was navigating and then finally suffering from Alzheimer's the vast majority of his presidencies, plural. Based on all of that, we were asking, do Americans, are we kind of feeling like we're getting lied to, or critical information is not being disclosed in a timely manner when our presidents are getting diagnosed with, life-threatening or terminal diseases? And we had a listener call in, Al from Sherman Park, and say, where are the journalists at that are, where's the media at in terms of they get access to the White House, Air Force One, they've got, intel. Why aren't they reporting this? We challenged how journalists even are being made up in this current day and age. And I was sharing this video. We're going to play you the soundbite. I shared a video with Dr. Ken last week. Now, those who know Dr. Ken, whether personally, professionally, or through Good Karma Brands. You rarely hear Dr. Ken crack up. I am proud to announce that I made Dr. Ken crack up to the point where,
y'all see this
look
face?
at him. He was dying, y'all. He was dying laughing. Rightfully so. What you are about to hear is an interview that took place maybe a month or so ago on CNBC, a news media outlet, cable news media outlet, between U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren and this professional, and I'm doing the air quotes, who represented CNBC by interviewing Senator Warren, and they're going back and forth about President Trump's, at the time, recent, tariffs announcements and talking about the federal government. Just let me stop, y'all. Check this out. This is what journalism looks and sounds like in 2025.
It ultimately doesn't matter.
What do you mean it ultimately doesn't matter? This is the law. I'm
Because
still
it didn't
kind of
change his
Constitution
policy.
101.
No, but he has the authority, ultimately.
Well, no, he does not. That's the whole point. He does not have the authority if Congress does not let him keep this authority. We can take this away.
Can
he
I
has
get you?
declared an emergency. That's what gives him the authority. Otherwise, it belongs to Congress.
Before you
Instead
go-
of just mouthing off about what you think is happening, actually present some evidence. And let's look at the evidence. Let's let the other side come in and question that evidence. But you don't just get to lip off and say, and therefore the king gets to wave his magic wand and say, off with your head.
Doesn't the government determine where federal tax dollars go? And so they're allowed to decide.
Do you think they have a big bushel basket of money and they just say, you, good looking, you will have money. You, not so good looking. You're going to have to go hungry for a while. That's not how it works. Let's just do Con Law 101, and that is Congress writes those laws and allocates that money. The administration's job is to enforce those laws and spend that money the way the law tells them. And if they fail to do that, Part 3 is the courts are the ones who step in and enforce the law.
That's why Biden's removing the school loans didn't work. That's why making changes and just writing executive order doesn't work. Every single thing that has
And that's why
money
Al from
comes
Sherman
the
Park.
House
Yes.
of Representatives.
Al from Sherman Park, if you're still listening, great question. Dr. Ken, I was, okay, so full transparency. I was never a straight A student. Okay, I got the A on the roll.
Right.
I got the B on the roll. When I got into high school, I was kind of like, I want to party. And so let's just say, from an academic standpoint, my report card, but here's the crazy part, which is often how, because you and I have this conversation. See, Dr. Ken is a nerd. He's a genius. Like he's young Sheldon in an older body.
No, all the people
I'm
you
creative.
don't choose young Sheldon. Please don't.
Okay, I'm creative. So creatives, oftentimes when they work with very intellectual people, there's friction because our genius is deep in the lower levels of our souls. Where someone like Dr. Ken, they can just 8-syllable words, whatever. So I say all that to say this.
I think I just got insulted, but okay.
No, it was a compliment.
Deep
It's
in your
called
soul,
emotional
but on
awareness.
top of
No, our genius as
I
creatives.
missed it.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Kanye West. Now,
Right.
okay, I continue. Right? Okay. So
close to like one step away from genius and insanity. Good point. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Which one of us is a genius? Which one is insane, though?
I'm insane. I own that.
All right.
You're the straight up genius, and I'm the sometimes because Dr. Ken. Okay, watch this. Watch this. How many times have I said something and you were like, "Huh? You know what? That's a really good point." I can count on one hand.
Okay, I think it's time to go to break, ain't it?
But no, answer the question.
I don't know. Okay.
Answer the question.
Okay, maybe.
How many times have
maybe
I said?
I'll give you 10. I'll give you 10.
Are you for real?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll give you 10.
It's just constant Wikipedia. It's constant Oxford Dictionary. You're an intellect. I'm a creative genius, but it's underneath for a variety of reasons, starting with what we talked about today, because my genius makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But anyway, I say that to say this about the video that we just heard. Even I know, Dr. Ken, even I know.
Okay, stop. We got to go to break.
I told y'all I had Dr. Ken cracking up. Look, I told y'all I had him cracking up. Even I know. Dr. Ken, come on. And she has she's got a whole suit on, you know, with a white Brooks Brothers.
Would you trust her with any of your money?
And had the audacity. She was like, well, look. The government controls that. And Elizabeth Warren was like,
what?
Okay, let me, and this is where Dr. Ken cracks up, y'all. Let me take you to common law 101. I mean, we're not even in the Constitution anymore. We got to go to common law with this one. Here's the thing. We'll leave the studio, Dr. Ken.
Right. We'll just give you a basic.
She will leave that studio, and if any person, including Al from Sherman Park, walked up to her and said, what is your profession? After even leaving that debacle of an interview with a United States Senator, she would tell that person, I'm a journalist. And that's where we are in 2025. Those are the people who are getting shows. And here I am, a creative genius who loves talk radio, but they'd rather give her the role. And you think DE&I really, really benefited me when it always has benefited that person who challenged Senator Warren.
Citing Unlimited talk and text line is 855-616-1620. We'll be back.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable. But a simple in-office solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple in-office procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
When it comes to simple, affordable home improvements, at Less's Glass, you'll find an array of options. Like for bath remodeling, adding a new glass shower door and beveling the edges of your mirrors, or simply having us install new mirrors to any living space in your home can add a touch of elegance and depth that can really turn a room's frown upside down. Or maybe you're thinking new cabinet doors. Before you write that check, find out how we can make your ordinary cabinet doors beautiful with a variety of glass insert options that can be easily installed into your existing wood cabinets and make a world of difference. And before you pay for new windows, call us to see if our affordable insulated glass replacement services can't save you a few bucks. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law.
Now look at that. Dr. Kidd, see, that's how I learned about the law.
Yep.
I learned it from Schoolhouse Rock. See, I couldn't listen to people like you because y'all too smart. But that's what I'm saying. Like, how does she not know? And this is why younger generation listeners that are trying to get rid of PBS, it's those after-school specials that taught me about U.S. government.
And that's when these generations started to fail. Like, do they even have Saturday morning cartoons anymore?
I don't know.
Because Schoolhouse Rock used to come on.
Well, they have cartoons every day. Yeah, I know, but they have cartoons now 24/7 every day. So I don't know if they still have the concept of Saturday morning cartoons, but yeah, because you can go watch. There's a whole network, Dr. Ken. Cartoon Network. 24/7.
Yeah, but I guess for me, Saturday morning cartoons were the time when me and my sisters had to divide up, because you only had those 3 channels. You had to divide up the time. And so you got to watch your show at this time, and then my sister watched her show, and my other sister watched her show, my mother watched. But you knew if I get this stuff done during the week that I don't have to do work on Saturday, I can watch cartoons. And it was
these are the benefits of being an only child, because here was my lineup, and I didn't share TV with nobody. I woke up, I watched Smurfs.
Channels. Smurfs?
Yeah, and then My Little Pony, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Jem and the Holograms. Jem is truly outrageous. True. Remember that? Jem and the Holograms.
Why do creative people always like Smurf? Like, what is that? Anyway, this is weird.
I remember everything, the theme song and everything. Then I would vacuum to Soul Train because I wasn't supposed to watch Soul Train.
Uh-oh.
Because my mother considered that secular.
Every day at 4:30.
Yeah.
Soul Train. Yep.
And so I used the vacuum to cover up the sound because I just really wanted to. No, for real, Dr. I just wanted to watch the dancing anyway. So I would, the vacuum, I remember this like it was yesterday. Soul Train, but I watched it. I can tell it now.
Look at you.
I wanted to be a Soul Train dancer. But we won't go there on why that didn't work out. So many reasons.
Wow. Can you actually dance?
Now that I can do, I was actually voted best dancer when I was graduating from middle school, 8th grade.
And you
graduation,
went to
best dancer.
the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind School?
See, y'all, I can dance. Don't listen to Dr. Ken. Anywho.
Okay, I'm sorry. Because we don't call people deaf, dumb, and blind. So my apologies. We don't call you deaf, dumb. Anyway. Digging a hole.
We accept. I know. I'm trying to pull you out, brother.
Yeah.
Take the rope.
Just
we still
on a quick side note, we are working on information. Sure. There is information we're getting from multiple sources that there's possibly a shooting in the city of Glendale, Wisconsin. So we're looking into it to see, and if we can confirm it, we'll have an update from 620 WTMJ Breaking News Center. So there you go.
This is going on right now.
Going on right now. Yes.
So this would be in terms of a non-business, like a private residential area or a home?
No idea.
Okay.
We're trying to confirm it.
I'm trying to be a journalist.
And then we, well, you do it better than a certain person that don't know what part of Congress allocates money, but anyway. Well, the government.
You're just tuning in.
Like, who's the government? Like, what is that?
And just like she said, so what do you think? They just like wake up and say, oh, you're good looking. Yeah, we'll make that. It's like, she was like, well, the government.
She said that. I was like,
well, the government. The government will do it. They have the authority. She said that. She said they have the authority. The government. They can do whatever they want. And that's the problem. That is the problem. We are a democracy.
Is that the same as they stopped me from winning? They who? Like who's they? They after me. The man.
You know what?
Who?
Dr. Kent, in all seriousness, I know I'm out next week, but I really think that we should start to put together a show dedicated to what we expect from leadership. Because remember, you're already out the door, okay? You're a boomer. Like, they don't even think about y'all anymore. I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm coming in the pipeline up. You don't matter anymore. So it's really all about the Gen Zers and the younger millennials. Yep. Okay? So we need to do a whole show, full transparency, truth unfiltered. Boomers, Gen Xers, older millennials, what are we expecting from leadership? And how are we preparing the next generation of leaders? What is our succession plan? Because if that young lady who interviewed Senator Warren represents the future of our leadership and the level of accountability,
we're done.
Then Dr. Ken and I need to have a whole 2-hour show on that topic. Because I'm getting nervous.
Well, maybe next time. Well, in the next break, we'll discuss after the break what kind of leader America's going to need in 3 years.
Where do we draw the line on mediocrity?
Ooh.
That's all.
Well, then you got to start with Milwaukee. Oops, I'm sorry. You're listening. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ Talk and Text.
Dr. Ken said that, y'all. I did.
1620. Yeah, I said it. When we come back, we're going to talk about what about the mediocrity of Milwaukee leadership. Where is it?
Ooh.
What is it? And where's it going? You know what I say to all three of those? Nothing, and nowhere.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Today, Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan entered a not guilty plea to federal charges. She's accused of trying to help an undocumented immigrant escape arrest from her courtroom last month.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
Giannis has 2 years and a third-year player option remaining on his contract with the Bucks.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, reminding you to double-check your home. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family-owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. Call Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
You're listening to The Truth Unfiltered
with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
We was getting so heated off the air. Evan has to be, hey, excuse me, yeah, hello, time out, we're back. Before the break, I had to ask the question. We talk about what's leadership going to be after Donald Trump, what's leadership going to be for 3 years, because he can't run again. Is I don't think J.D. Vance is the guy. I just don't. J.D. Vance is not the guy. If I was conservative, if I was liberal, I don't care what I would be. J.D. Vance is not the guy. He's too young. He's too what's the word I'm looking for? Unpolished.
Well, it was never about him being the guy anyway. That was like, I need a little Robin, I need a little puppet to just be like, yes, what he said. Yeah.
So now we even on the truth and 620, we tend to steer away to talk about Biden or talk about Trump when we talk about local things. The truth of the matter is that the power of the city, the power of our children comes from those that lead the city. And, you said a profound thing in the last break about leadership. Where's our future leadership going to come from? All those people, the Donald Trumps and the Joe Bidens and the Barack Obamas and they all grew up in little cities like Milwaukee and had a dream that one day I could be president. I don't think we got that today because we ain't got no leadership at all.
And the question is also, in addition to what does leadership look like, the even more important question is, what are we expecting from leadership? How are we holding? Yeah, because it's one thing to ask, what does that look like? Well, however it looks, is it something that we can measure as part of progress? Is this something that is going to put us in positions of, and when I say powerful, I mean from a country standpoint, because for some reason, Dr. Ken, here lately when I read these news headlines, I feel like, is the United States, and I know like, especially military people will be like, heck yeah, we are. Are we starting to become not as powerful as we used to be? Like, I feel like we're kind of like, I don't know.
Well, we're actually becoming more powerful, but we're becoming powerful in areas that we should have already been powerful in, and we weren't.
Do you attribute that to Trump?
In that instance, I attribute it to Trump and the military.
Well, I did hear that Putin now is willing to speak with the Ukraine president. And I know President Trump is going to claim that.
And he went to the Middle East and did some stuff that I thought would never happen. So even Democrats are going like, dude, we got to give you a pat on the back. So now Democrats are giving a pat on the back for the Middle East. Now they recognize, hey, I get it. But if you let Iran get nuclear weapons, we coming after you too. Y'all over here. So you need to roll. And he went to the United Arab Emirates and he went and he's
talking. He got like a $400 million new Air Force One.
Yeah, but he can't take it. He's jazzing people. That plane is going to probably go to his presidential library or something because he can't. It would cost him $4 billion just to retrofit the thing.
Just
and by then the other one will be fit. Anyway. He just likes to poke people. I don't know why he does that. Talking text line.
It's got him elected twice.
Yes, it has. Talking text line 262-227 says the next president, regardless of age, needs to have an open mind and accept the U.S. society as ever evolving and increasingly diverse, and that is not appropriate to try to return things to the 1950s model of morals and culture. I disagree with that. I
agree.
I know you do. I disagree with that, Peter, but here's what I disagree with. At some point, we need to get back to some of those things that made us win. Right? What we have to do is stop trashing other people when we disagree with how we win. Me and Denise are two completely different people, two completely different genders. We see the world differently. We probably vote within, 5 feet of each other, right? She may lean left, I lean right. The next time she lean right, I lean left, right? So that whole thing, but we're okay with that. Like we disagree. Okay. We have to bring that back. And then I think all the culture and all that other stuff will be fine. When you say increasingly diverse, what does all that mean? And what do you mean it's not appropriate to return things to the 1950s model? Because now you're saying that what you want is more important than what someone else wants. I think we can both have it and want. There was a time when we both had it and wanted it and coexisted, and something happened. And I haven't been able to put my finger on it. Something happened in America that drove a wedge. Now, here's what I think it is. It was the Obama presidency. People were so taken aback that we had a black president, they lost it. That's what I think.
You mean other countries?
I think people in America were so taken aback that we had a black president that they just lost. Like they just disconnected. And now
Who is they? Because the majority of the country voted for President Obama. So why would you go vote for him?
I think he got the Electoral College, but I don't know if he got a popular vote.
He most certainly did.
Okay,
both times.
However, those the minority of those people are the ones that are doing all the craziness and blowing up fertility clinics and all the crazy stuff now under Trump. So we have to really step back and take a look at when you say it's not appropriate to return, the people that want to return, let them return. But we shouldn't be negating people who don't want to return and want to live their lives and want to be diverse and it's somewhere this coexistence just left, and I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. Like we just decided,
It's a definite social gap that exists, and when I say social gap,
good point.
It has a lot to do with the majority of people now measure friendship on you have to think like I think. Because if you don't, then we can't be. Yeah. And that is so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy for so many reasons, but primarily that is what is creating and further perpetuating division. And it's not even just race. I mean, I know this is a Milwaukee Black Talk, but it's not. Yeah, that's kind of like, and think about the fact that ideally that's kind of what Trump did. He was like, okay, the first time I didn't know. I had to take notes, and some of y'all got me. The next 4 years, I'm going to study, I'm going to strategize, I'm going to put my plan together, and I'm going to hire all of my allies, advocates, business partners.
The same way
that's going to be the makeup. That's going to be the makeup of my cabinet, of my advisory, of my council. And I will ultimately have all these Donald Trumps. I basically, theoretically cloned myself. And you cannot be mad because we knew that, we saw it, we elected it. So we can't say go back to because like Dr. Ken said, I agree with you now. I didn't agree with you, but the way you broke it down, I changed my mind. Yeah, because if we keep creating these communities of where you got to just look like me, talk like me, think like me.
You don't accept my lifestyle? You don't accept my hair color? Then we're going to banish you. What is that? I don't get that. By the way, I love your hair, by the way. I got to tell you that.
Thank you. I switched. I used to be blonde, and now what is this, copper? Yeah, I'm copper. It's just a little something I'm trying.
Okay, so
thank you.
Let me help you with something. I'm a guy.
Okay.
Colors are not my thing. No, I care, but colors are not my thing. Oh, look, that's a beautiful blah, 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 blah. Like, I still don't know what magenta is.
Are you serious?
Is it reddish? Is it pink?
Yes.
Is it?
No, it's like reddish.
What's the other one? I can't think of the color. It's a copperish color, greenish color. I'm like, mauve? Like, what the heck is mauve? Like, what? Who does this?
So men don't care about color? Is that what you're saying? You care about color, but you don't.
I care about color when it, like, I got the blue glasses with the blue jacket, with the blue that kind of thing. But other than that, somebody asking me.
Well, that's good to know.
Blue, black, brown, gray, red, white. That's it. Don't telling me all that stuff in the middle. It's a blue-green.
What? We'll definitely pick this up when I come back. I will be out next week. Dr. Ken will be hosting solo, holding the fort down.
It's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, well, we'll come back the first weekend of June for sure. Until then, keep listening to The Truth. Stay locked into TMJ. Dr. Ken and I will be back very soon. Make it a great week. Tell somebody you love him. Thank you. You too. Peace out.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused